And now, Mike's thoughts.
Sheduer Sanders just walked into the NFL versus the Tennessee Titans like he owns a VIP booth in the stat department and dropped a 300-yard plus gem on the entire NFL on Sunday afternoon. The kid took the field, put his shades on, and just basically said, "Hold my beer, because I'm here, baby!" One single 300-yard outing in a season. That's all it takes to spark a single flare across the entire NFL landscape. And guess who hasn't hit that flare yet? Guess who has not thrown a 300 single-yard game all season long? That's Drake Maye, the internet's golden child, the Hype Factory's favorite prototype. 0 300-yard games this season. Zilt, nada, finito, nothing. The box score desert. And while Sheduer is out here turning the air into a transportation highway for footballs, Drake Maye is still waiting for TSA to approve his flight. It doesn't mean Drake Maye eventually won't break the 300-yard mark. It may not mean he may not eventually cook. It doesn't mean that Sheduer Sanders has arrived in Canton, Ohio yet. But the facts are hungry little creatures, and this one is chomping loud tonight. When you stack the cards, the potential, and polish them with performances, Sheduer Sanders got the ace peeking out already. The NFL just got reminded confidence can be loud. Stats can be louder. And Sheduer Sanders put numbers up that you simply cannot ignore. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation! Rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman. Everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport talk. Man Hour. Sport talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport talk. Man Hour. Sport talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go! What is up, Man Hour Nation? Welcome to Man Hour NFL Talk, your go-to spot for live, raw, uncut NFL talk. I'm so glad you're rolling with us today. Before we jump into today's action, guys, head over to manhourradio.com. That's where you can find all the exclusive merchandise, check out the blogs, and everything that's happening with the Man Hour show. So if you're rocking the Man Hour, guys, that is a spot to rock it. But make sure you hit the like button, hit the share button, of course, share this with a couple of friends as well, and subscribe so you never miss a live, interactive show. That's the easiest way to stay plugged into us. But if you want the full Man Hour experience, guys, become a Pigskin Pundit. That is our members-only community where you get free entry to weekly NFL pick'ems, giveaways, exclusive merchandise, and bonus live streams that only the Pigskin Pundits get. So if you want that next level access, guys, join the squad today. Now remember, this is a live interactive show, so drop your thoughts down below. Drop your hottest of the hottest takes down below. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you and your thoughts and opinions. But guys, we are live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. East Coast time, right here at facebook.com/Man Hour NFL Talk. Of course, youtube.com/Man Hour NFL Talk as well. But guys, it is time to jump directly in today's show because we got a Monday night matchup, guys, that everybody is looking after. We got two 8-win teams, one team trying to stay up atop of the NFC East and one team crawling for life in the brutal AFC wildcard race. Guys, Monday night isn't just a game. Tonight is just not a game versus the Chargers versus the Eagles. It is a mood swing waiting to happen. It is the December push waiting to happen, guys. And tonight, the Eagles take on the Chargers, and they hit the field with momentum, confidence, and a playoff breathing room on the line. One team leaves smiling, and the other team leaves sweating. Chat, Man Hour Nation, right now in the comments down below, do you got the Eagles or the Chargers? Who do you got tonight? Guys, but before we get too carried away, guys, break it down. Break it down because simply put, guys, the Philadelphia Eagles offense is stuck in the mud. Before the bye, the Eagles were rolling. They had 26 points per game. Not perfect, but they were dangerous, baby. Since the bye, they're about 15.5 points per game. That's going from a sports car to a grocery cart with a bad wheel. Wobble, 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 wobble. Last 6 quarters, 15 total points. Jalen Hurts has been under 58% completion percentage in 3 of the last 4. The red zone touchdown rate down from about 85% to just a little over 55%. And Saquon Barkley, oh man, the engine that the rushing attack last season, the bloodline of the Philadelphia Eagles last season, the heart, the soul of the Philadelphia Eagles last season hasn't felt the same dude behind the line. Matter of fact, many people are saying Saquon Barkley has fell off. The Madden curse is here. No more Mr. Nice Guy, right? Lane Johnson is still out. Hurts looks mortal, and with Washington and the Buffalo Bills coming up, you do not want to walk into those games on a 3-game skid with the offense searching for a flashlight in the dark. Chat, who is to blame for this chump? Who is to blame for the Philadelphia Eagles slump? Is it Jalen Hurts? Is it the offensive line? Or is it coaching? Guys, simply drop one word down and the comments down below. Hurts, O-line, or the coaching? Who is to blame? But here's the thing. This roster cannot wake up at any moment. This is arguably one of the best rosters in the entire NFL. This is arguably one of the deepest and the most veteran presence rosters in the entire NFL. And if it's going to happen tonight, they've got to do it against one of the best defenses in the NFL, because the LA Chargers guys will match what the Chicago Bears did the Philadelphia Eagles just last week. Jim Harbaugh says Justin Herbert is ready to go. Cleared by doctors. Left hand surgery went well. He's all good to go. But the Chargers don't need to be out here throwing the ball 50 times with Justin Herbert tonight. They don't need to be out there chucking the ball up all night long with Justin Herbert. Greg Roman has been licking at his chops ever since the Chicago Bears bulldozed the Philadelphia Eagles for 281 yards last week. No Jalen Carter. That just cranks up the drums. That just cranks up the drum beat even louder. Vital is coming off the best game of his young career. Hampton should be back tonight. And if they can run it even half as well as the Chicago Bears, the Chargers can control the tempo all night long and keep Justin Herbert from playing superhero with that repaired hand. Guys, the keys for the LA Chargers this season or tonight are very, very simple. Run it like the Chicago Bears. Copycat what the Chicago Bears did last week. Stay out of obvious passing downs. The problem is the offensive line is held together with duct tape and hope. 2 tackles out for the season. If the running game doesn't hit early, Herbert is going to feel the wrath of the Eagles' front 7 over and over and over, even without Jalen Carter. Chat, who's the bigger factor tonight, though? The Chargers' running game or the Eagles' pass rush? Type run or pass. It's simple as that, because this is a December tone setter. Now, this technically is not a must-win for either team. Technically, both teams kind of control their own destiny. All they got to do is win about 2 more games and they're in. There's 5 games left of the season, so it's definitely not a must-win. But it feels like one on both sides. Both of these teams, I feel, are in a must-win situations. If the Eagles lose, that division lead turns into a shaky ladder. And the Cowboys are right there breathing down their necks. And the Cowboys are arguably one of the hottest teams in the NFL. Yes, they did lose to the Detroit Lions last week, but you don't want to place the Dallas Cowboys right now. But the Eagles' last 5 games, 2 against Washington, 1 against Buffalo, and then, of course, tonight versus the LA Chargers. No freebies. No freebies for the Philadelphia Eagles. And as for the Chargers, a loss drops their playoff odds to nearly a coin flip. 50-50 chance. And then you're staring at the schedule that's basically staring straight uphill. Yes, you do play the Kansas City Chiefs. You can never count out the Kansas City Chiefs yet. You got the Dallas Cowboys, the Texans, one of the hottest teams in the NFL, and then the Denver Broncos, the best team in the AFC right now. No soft spots, no comfy landings. Someone's going to wake up Tuesday ready to sprint into December, finish out the season on a high note, and someone's going to wake up looking at their ceiling and say, damn, did we just blow our shot? Eagles fans, right now, 1 through 10 in the chat, how nervous are you about tonight? Are you nervous about tonight's game? Chargers fans, 1 through 10, how confident are you about tonight's game? Let me know, guys. Are you confident or are you nervous? Let me know if you're an Eagles fan, if you're a Chargers fan. But It takes one to win the game. Only one person is going to win the game tonight, because if we get a tie, oh, help us God. Let's not get a tie. Guys, I think the Eagles find just enough offense to stop the bleeding tonight. The defense gives Justin Herbert's problem, and the Philly run game wakes up enough, and A.J. Brown keeps on eating. A.J. Brown's the man, the myth, the legend. I am taking the Philadelphia Eagles in a tie one in tonight's game. I am predicting that the Eagles will outlast the Los Angeles Chargers tonight. And I'm predicting that there will be some referee controversy tonight as well. I am predicting that the Philadelphia Eagles beat the LA Chargers 27-21. Justin Herbert's going to throw for 3 touchdowns. Hampton is going to come in, and he's going to run for about 85 yards. But the story of the night is going to be Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is going to come out from the dead, rush for 125-plus yards. A.J. Brown's going to be mad on the sideline because he's not getting the ball. It's going to be Saquon Barkley all night long. 20 rushes, about 10 catches. Give the man the ball. Feed him, feed him, feed him, feed him. But Man Hour Nation, Pigskin Pundits, who do you have winning tonight? Are the Eagles back on track, or are the Chargers about to shake up the whole entire AFC West? Guys, drop your picks and your score in the chat below. Now remember, subscribe, smash the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. East Coast time, right at youtube.com/Man Hour. Now this is the live interactive show, so pull up, jump in the chat, and be a part of the conversation, baby. But guys, it is time for a little segment we have to call Buy or Sell. Alrighty, guys, so it is time for the segment we have to call Buy or Sell. And here's how it works. I'm going to throw out a bold take, a question, and it's up to decide if we're buying it, if we're selling it. If you're buying it, it means you like the idea. You believe it and it makes sense. If you're selling it, that means you're out. You don't like it, you're not convinced, and you're shutting it down now, baby. So, guys, let's get into it. Whether it's buy or sell. All right, guys, so the first buy or sell of the night. Buy or sell. The Colts are finished without Daniel Jones. Chat, I want you to jump in this form right now. Type buy if you think the Colts season is over, and type sell if you believe they still got a little bit of life. Let's lay it all out. Guys, Daniel Jones wasn't just some plug-and-play guy for Indy. Throughout the first 8 weeks, this offense was on a record pace. They started out 7-1. They looked explosive, efficient, and honestly, like a team nobody wanted to see in January. And now, Jones tears his Achilles in the first quarter against Jacksonville Jaguars. Season over, surgery coming this week. And suddenly, the whole vibe in Indianapolis changes. Suddenly, the whole vibe of the AFC playoff picture changes. This dude was already playing through a hairline fracture in his left fibula on the other leg, and still out there competing. Being the man, the myth, the legend. This is your captain, your leader, the toughest guy in the room, and now he's in a boot on the sideline instead of in your huddle. So here's the question. Are the Colts cooked without him? Are they done? Finito, whatever you want to call it, are they done? Let's start with the buy side. Are you guys buying it? Buying that they're finished? When you look at the context, they have lost 4 of their last 5 with Daniel Jones. They just coughed up the AFC South lead. The schedule left is brutal. They play the Seattle, the 49ers, Jacksonville Jaguars again, and then a Houston team that is hotter than hot to close out the season. This is not exactly your get-right slate per se. Now you're asking a rookie 6th-round pick, Riley Leonard, to save the season. He comes in against the Jaguars and goes 18 for 29, 145 yards, fine. Not a disaster, but nothing that scares defenses either. And that was the Jacksonville Jaguars already in control. Defenses now have film. They're going to load up, dare this kid to beat them, and take away the easy stuff. No more Daniel Jones making pre-snap snacks. No more veteran presence in the pocket. That's a massive drop in a playoff race that has 0 patience. Now, if you're buying it, saying that they're finished, your argument is very, very simple. Your starter is gone for the year. Rookie thrown in the fire, and the team that's already in free fall and is scheduled from hell down the stretch. That's a pretty strong buy case. Now let's flip it. The sell side. Sell that they're finished, meaning you still believe. They're not done. Shane Steichen is that dude, potentially coach of the year. This is one of the better offensive minds in the entire NFL. He helped turn around an offense into a machine with Daniel Jones. And now he's got a full week, then multiple weeks to tailor this thing in for Riley Leonard. And Leonard, to his credit, didn't melt. His first real action in the NFL, rain-soaked field against a division rival, and he kept the offense functional. No, it was not pretty, but it also wasn't a complete disaster either. You still have weapons. You still have Michael Pittman Jr. on the outside. Alec Pierce is still making plays. And JT, the MVP himself, is still in the backfield when healthy. A locker room that clearly rattled, that rallies around Daniel Jones. You heard it from Pierce and Leonard themselves. That kind of culture doesn't evaporate because the quarterback gets hurt. Plus, the AFC playoff picture is a complete chaos. That 7-1 start gave them a cushion. You may not love their chances to win the South anymore, but sneaking into a 6 or 7 seed, a very real possibility. If Leonard can just be a game manager, protect the football, and let the rest of the roster do their job, it's not insane to think that they can hang around. So here's where I'm at. I am buying. I'm buying that this team is in serious trouble, but I'm also saying that they're not completely finished. Translation, I don't think they're dead, but the margin for error is gone. They cannot sugarcoat Riley Leonard's growth. Riley Leonard has to grow up fast. Shane Steichen has to call the best ball of his life, and the defense has to step up when the game or two down the stretch. If you're making me put it on the line, I'll say this. The Colts missed the division, and they're hanging around right around the 7-seed bubble going into week 18. One game either way decides their face. Chat, it's your turn. Buy or sell. Are the Colts finished without Daniel Jones? Drop a buy if you think their season is cooked. Drop a sell if you believe that they can call into the playoffs still. Now, give me your prediction. Do the Colts make the playoffs? Yes or no? Remember, we're live Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. East Coast time right here at youtube.com/manhour. Mellow Mike says, well. We're talking about the Chiefs next segment, Mellow Mike. Stay tuned. KR5 says, hello, brother. What up? Mellow Mike says, Colts, like Bucks believe Colts are like the beloved Cowboys and Chiefs are cooked. Mellow Mike is buying it. Mellow Mike says buy. Buy. Like NSYNC. Buy. Seth says, yes, they are dead, bro. They're bringing Phillip Rivers back. Like burned, bro. Listen, if they bring Phillip Rivers back, Tom Brady's going to go back to the New England Patriots, and he's going to beat Phillip Rivers again in the playoffs, and Phillip Rivers is going to pop out another kid. So let's not make that happen. Let's just not make that happen. And like Mel Mike says, that's just not a no, but that is a hell no. Colts are done. And honestly, guys, if you want to take it one step further, even with a healthy Daniel Jones, I said they weren't going to win a game for the rest of the season. After the Chiefs lost, I said they were not going to win a game for the rest of the season. That was before the Daniel Jones broken leg issue came out. That was before the torn Achilles. That was before this. They have a plethora of injuries, but their schedule is brutal. Play the Jaguars twice, the Seahawks, and the 49ers. That's just tough. That's just tough. And John Peebles, old man Rivers a pigskin punt it. Where's that thing at?
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
He says simply no. The Colts will not make the playoffs. So let me take this one step further, chat. People down in the comment section down below. Now that the Colts will not make the playoffs, per your guys' predictions and mine as well, do we still have an MVP on their roster? Is Daniel Jones still arguably an MVP? Means he's not going to win it, but we'll see how much of an MVP he was for this team. Or is JT going to win it because they're going to carry themselves to the playoffs? That's the real question. That is the real question. But the next one. Next up on the buy or sell segment, guys, are the Chiefs coaching staff to blame for the Houston Texans loss last night. Guys, welcome into buy or sell number 2, where we decide who's getting the smoke tonight. And the topic on the table is very, very simple, guys. Buy or sell. Is the Chiefs coaching staff to blame for the ugly loss to the Houston Texans? Chat, get in here early. Buy if you're putting this on Andy Reid and the coaching staff, or sell if you think it's more the Mahomes and the players type of situation. I'm watching this stat, so let's get into it. Let's set this stage of what happened last night on Sunday Night Football. The Kansas City Chiefs were in a must-win spot. The fourth quarter, it was tied 10-10. 10 minutes left in the ball game. Ball on their own 31. Andy Reid does something he never has done in 27 years as a head coach. Go for it on fourth down in a tie ball game in the fourth quarter inside his own 40. What is going on? 4th and 1. Kareem Hunt on the roster, one of the best short yardage backs in the entire NFL. What do they run? They run shotgun. Hollywood Brown to the backfield, pass play, Mahomes to Rashid Rice, incomplete. First time Andy Reid has ever done this in the exact situation, and then it flips the game. The Texans crash it in, go up 17-10, and the Chiefs never score again. Now, Andy Reid did say it to himself, I put the guys in a tough situation with the 4th downs. In hindsight, it was wrong. I messed that one up. So let this one hit both ways. Because if you're on the buying case, yeah, it was a coaching issue. Here's your argument, and I understand the argument. Number 1, situational football, right? You have Kareem Hunt, elite in short yardage. You need a 1-yard season on the line, and you get cute. Shotgun, Hollywood Brown in the backfield. You throw over the middle instead of lining up and smashing it down the Houston Texans' throat. And then number 2, this is just not a one-off this season. The Chiefs' offense has looked disjointed all season long. Poor red zone designs, weird route spacing, not enough easy throws, and they keep leaning on Mahomes to play hero ball behind backup linemen. And then number 3, the moment. You're tied, you're at home with a defense that was dominating the third quarter. You punt it away, you trust your defense, play field position. Instead, you hand the Houston Texans the ball in a short yardage situation. They're already there for a field goal in a low-scoring game. This is coaching management 101. And finally, Andy Reid admitted it. When the head coach says, I messed that one up, that's not us guessing. That is straight from the man, the myth, the legend himself. But if you're buying it, if you're saying, oh, it's the player's fault, it's the coach's fault. Bad situational play calls, bad overall offense direction, and bad risk management in a must-win game. Chat, if you're buying this one, type coach in the chat. But if you're selling this, nah, this one's on the players, baby, then you are selling it. And then I'm going to point you to these facts of why you could potentially be selling it. Despite 3 backup linemen, the analytics liked going for it. ESPN and Next Gen gave them a slight edge going for it there. With the win probability over 51%. So from a number standpoint, the directions or the decision wasn't crazy. Second, Patrick Mahomes didn't play well. 160 yards passing, 42.4% completion percentage, the worst completion percentage of his career. That's not on Andy Reid. That's simply on QB1. Third, the drops. 5 total drops. Hunt, Rice, Kelsey all dropped critical pass throws within the final 20 minutes. Kelsey dropped back-to-back. The second one, he turns into a Mahomes' third pick and kills the comeback. Rashid Rice drops a 4th and 4. Thornton flat out whiffs on what should have been a 48-yard touchdown. You can call it whatever you want as a coach. If your Hall of Fame tight end, your young star receiver, and your weapons aren't catching the freaking ball, that's pure execution. So if you're saying it, sorry, if you are selling this, you are saying the decision to go for it was defensible. The play calling could have worked if the line protection, the timing's better. Mahomes and his weapons flat out didn't execute. If you're selling this one, this type players down in the chat. But here's where I land. This is where I land. I'm buying it. The coaching deserves a big slice of the blame. But I'm not letting the players off the hook either, but coaching gets the deserving this time. It's simply put, game management. It's 4th and 1. The call was reckless. Given the context, wrong look, wrong personnel, wrong time to get fancy. That's Andy Reid and Matt Nagy and the rest of the coaching staff. But the bigger picture, dropped, missed throws, lack of separation, bad situational focus, that's on the guys and pads. So if you got to put a number on it, 60% coaching, 40% players for this Texans loss. But I'm officially buying that the coaching staff is the major reason why they walked out of Arrowhead Stadium with just 10 points in a must-win game and put a number in the L column. All right, chat, let's lock in. Buy or sell? Is the Chiefs coaching staff to blame for the Texans' loss last night? Drop a buy or drop a sell, and tell me who deserves to blame more, Andy or Mahomes. Remember, we're live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. East Coast time, right here, youtube.com/man hour. Mellow Mike says Taylor is fading these past 2 games. Matter of fact, Juwan Taylor was hurt last game, exited early, and did not play last night. But yes, Juwan Taylor is fading. Matter of fact, I believe I just read an article from the Arrowhead Addict, I believe it was, saying that Jawan Jennings will probably not be a Kansas City Chiefs next year, which makes sense, right? Mellow Mike says it's poor game management, poor execution, equal share of the blame. Mellow Mike, that sounds like waffling to me. Don't be waffling around here on Man Hour, Mellow Mike, because you know damn well that the Kansas City Chiefs defense dominated the third quarter. First half, Texans were very, very nice. Third quarter, the Chiefs came to play. Defense locked in. Matter of fact, I think the Texans had -2 yards that whole quarter. Punt the ball away. Play the field position game. It's tied 10-10. Come on. Let your defense make a big play. Make the Houston Texans make a mistake. That is the biggest thing with the Kansas City Chiefs this season, is that in years past, they put pressure on other teams to make mistakes, like the Broncos, like the Chargers, like the Raiders, Texans, the Ravens, Bills, right? They forced them into forcing the ball, making mistakes. They played, and they would capitalize on those mistakes. This year, the Texans, the Broncos, the Chargers, you can say the Eagles, the Buffalo Bills, they're capitalizing on the Kansas City Chiefs' mistakes and lack of coaching. Now, is it Andy Reid just getting tired, getting old? Is it Matt Nagy? Like, that's the story for another day. But don't be waffling around. Don't be waffling around. Al Harris, he says he's buying it. He says it's Andy Reid and the coaching staff. They are to blame. Not wrong. Seth is in the chat. What's up, Seth? He says sell. Players have been struggling the last 2 seasons. Coaches don't drop passes, and look what Reid did to that organization. Now, Seth, I agree with you. Andy Reid took the Kansas City Chiefs to average to elite nearly overnight. I mean, because if you look at the growth, it was nearly overnight. You had Alex Smith in there. Alex Smith and Andy Reid were match made in heaven, and brought in Patrick Mahomes, and poof, to the moon, baby, right? You are 100% correct. However, in the NFL, in life in general, is what have you done for me lately? Right? Last season, when you look at the Denver Broncos, Sean Payton, we're like, oh, he is washed. What's going on? We weren't looking past what he did with the Saints, right? But now, fast forward to this season. Where are they? 10-2? 11-2? They're balling out. Defense is lights out. Offense is centered around a great fundamentally scheme. Run the ball down your throat, nickel and dime you down the field, get the deep pass when it's there. We forgot about Sean Payton last year. It was like, oh, shit, what happened, right? So I get what you're saying, but at the same time, plays are called. Patrick Mahomes put it on his hands. It's dropped. 5 drops, right? There are 3 big names. Worthy, Rice, Kelsey. Drop. That's tough. And Kareem Hunt, too. Excuse me. Mellow Mike says, Buck, Mahomes had the worst game of his college and pro career. Only time Mahomes ever threw 3 picks and didn't account for a score himself ever. Pure dominance by the best defense in the NFL. And Mellow Mike, you are absolutely correct. I was kind of passively glazing your Houston Texans defense, saying, no, they're not that good. They're not that good. But secretly, deep down, I knew the Texans front 7 was dominant. When they got Danielle Hunter, 2 seasons ago or 3 seasons ago, I was like, oh shit, Because Danielle Hunter, whether you want to admit it or not, he was arguably a top defensive lineman in the NFL. He is that silent sung hero. You don't hear a lot from him in the broadcast, but when you look at the stat sheet, man, it gets like 7 tackles and like a half a sack and they're literally running the other way. And he added Will Anderson, arguably the best front, like the center part of the defense ever. That man's a good Lord. And then Aziz, am I saying that name right? Aziz Ashir, right? Aziz Ashir. As much as I dog that man about how dirty he is, I respect his game. Because, man, he comes in there with authority and hits people in the mouth. And then that safety, who's that, Pierce? Ooh, man, did he hit Rice like a... Rice looked dead. Rashid Rice looked dead out there. But, yes, the defense did do great for the Houston Texans. And Patrick Mahomes is having a bad statistical year. Now, obviously, the drops go on his incompletion passing and then a QBR and like all that stuff. But when you have 5 drops that should have been completions, 2 of those drops turned into interceptions. It is a tough situation. Al Harris says all drops. And Seth says all are getting old too. Correct. Travis Kelce's 36 years old. Patrick Mahomes has now been in the league for 8 years, 9 years. I mean, he's getting up there. He's pushing 30 now. So yes, the primes are now, except for Travis Kelce, he's way past his prime, is evident. But yes, I agree. Neil Williams, 3639. What is up, Neil? He says, sell. Mahomes is to blame. Why is Patrick Mahomes to blame? Because when you look at Patrick Mahomes, he put the ball where it needed to be all night long. When you look at Patrick Mahomes, he was scrambling, making great plays all night long. Do you want him to throw the ball and catch the ball as well? That's kind of what it seems like you are wanting to do. But I agree. I mean, you can sell it, put it on the players. Like I said, I put about 40%. Mellow Mike says, it is time for the Chiefs to go start a new chapter. Kelce rides off and becomes Mr. Travis Swifty. Chiefs fire Nagy and restructure the offensive personnel. And I think that's what's going to happen this season because Travis Kelce is on the last year of his contract. They're going to probably draft a tight end because they're sitting at their 12th, 13th draft pick right now, bearing things fall out the way they're supposed to. And so they're going to draft his replacement. I thought his replacement was going to be Noah Gray. But Noah Gray got a concussion versus the Cowboys. He didn't play. And then he had 3 drops himself too, right? So, yes, it is time for the offensive shovel. I think they got the skill players in place. It is time to go back to what they did in 2012, 2011 and draft the lineman first overall. Al Harris is waffling around too. He says 50-50. Come on, man. We can't be putting it at half on the players, half on the coaches. It's one or the other, Al. One or the other, Al. Come on, man. Come on. John Peoples, it says lack of execution. Fault players. So John Peoples is a pigskin punny, guys.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
So he knows ball because he gets the bonus live streams that only the pigskin pundits get. And he says it's blame on the players. No, wrong. And Seth says, go Broncos. You know what, Seth? At this point, I am with you. Why not? Go Broncos. Go Ponies, right? I mean, if somebody else is going to go to the Super Bowl, why not be from the AFC West? Not the Raiders. Anybody but the Raiders, but the Ponies, Chargers, sure, why not? Anybody but the Buffalo Bills, sorry, Carson, and anybody but the Raiders. Neil says Kelce should be replaced 3.5 years ago. Pacheco and the same injury need new back. Draft a real number 1. Worthy ain't it. And defense lagging since Shaneed left the building. Nagy is a bum. That is a lot to take in, Neil. So let's address this, right? Number 1, I do think Matt Nagy is a lot of the Kansas City Chiefs' issues the last couple seasons. Because when you go from a highly sought-off offensive coordinator to the head coach of the Chicago Bears. You get fired and then go back to your former team. It takes a very, very good, it takes a great man to humble yourself and take that step back. Look what 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh is doing. Robert Saleh is doing a great job. He humbled himself, right? Because he was the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. Got the New York Jets jobs. Shit show, right? Got fired. Kind of came back with his tail between the legs, saying, Kyle Shanahan, can I have my job back? Sure. And he has humbled himself and he has improved himself. I don't think Matt Nagy has done that. Number 2, Travis Kelce should have retired, or they should have replaced Travis Kelce 3.5 years ago, right? That is tough, right? The reason why, to me, that is tough, because Travis Kelce arguably played some of his best football 2 years ago. Without Travis Kelce and Andy Reid getting into a fight, was it last season or 2 seasons ago, that all the seasons are starting to run together? I'm getting old, right? Without Travis Kelce challenging Andy Reid and Andy Reid challenging Travis Kelce, they would have not beaten the, or sorry, that's the year that they lost to the Raiders on Christmas Day. They would have not got hot and won the Super Bowl versus the Eagles. It wouldn't have happened. So I have to disagree with that. And then they need to draft a real number 1. Worthy ain't it. Xavier Worthy is not a number 1 receiver. I do concur with that. Xavier Worthy is a number 3 receiver. He is that gadget, quick, skinny post, reverse type situation guy. Rashid Rice is the number 1 receiver. Juju is the number 2 receiver. Xavier Worthy is the number 3. What they need is a true number 2. Juju is well past his prime. Juju definitely needs to be replaced this season, whether it's with somebody like George Pickens, whether it's through the draft, or whether if somebody like Thornton can step up and be a number 2 receiver. But I think Juju is done after this season. So, Neil, I kind of disagree with you a little bit on most of those points, but I do agree that Worthy is not a true number 1 receiver. Mellow Mike says, Buck, slow down, baby! You've been calling my Texans trash. This game, the trash took out the trash. Chiefs offense looked lost this game for them. 12 possessions, 0 points. Mellow Mike, I got to give credit where credit is due. The Houston Texans balled out. The Houston Texans defense was them. The Houston Texans offense was them in the first half. The Houston Texans got punched in the mouth again, and they said, we here. And they come back and score 10 points in the fourth quarter to shut out the Kansas City Chiefs, to beat the defending AFC champions, to basically beat the cream of the crop of the AFC, whether you guys want to admit it or not. They're still the cream of the crop until otherwise said come February, in their house, in December, in the cold. If you guys remember, on Friday's show, I said the cold was going to be a big factor for CJ Stroud. Seth says, hell yeah. Go Ponies. Mellow Mike says, Buck, Mahomes threw three throws that last pick behind Kelce. So wasn't putting the ball in the spot all night long. Come on. I listened to Chris Collinsworth garbled Mahomes for the entire 3 hours of that game. I'm not saying Patrick Mahomes played perfect, but I'm saying on a lot of those plays, he did put the ball where it's supposed to be. That one to Travis Kelce was a bad interception. And also like that, was it Danielle Hunter that batted the ball down and Patrick Mahomes caught it for like 11-yard loss? That was tough too. Al Harris says, I'm going to have to blame it on the coach, not 50-50. The Chiefs are at home in the cold. They're special. They're dropping balls. They're missing tackles. And the coach is calling the wrong play, so it's on the head coach 100%. Al, I think we finally agree. Al has finally come to the dark side and finally agrees. Al, I agree with you on that 100%. Mellow Mike says, let me be humble. The Texans winning the Super Bowl, baby. Defense wins championships. Cardinals, Raiders, Chargers, Colts, Texans, schedule 9-game winning streak. Very, very possible. And much like the Dallas Cowboys, Mellow Mike, I said if the Dallas Cowboys win 8-9 games in a row and make it into the playoffs, you don't want to play them. And the Houston Texans, they win 8, 9, 10 games like in a row. They don't have the Baltimore Ravens to beat them in the playoffs this year. They could very well go. They could very, very well go. But guys, next up here on the old buy or sell, we got to talk about the Baltimore Ravens. Guys, buy or sell. Did the refs cost the Ravens the game on Sunday versus the Pittsburgh Steelers? Type buy if the refs stole the game. Type sell if the Ravens have nobody to blame but themselves. I'm watching the chat, guys, so let me set the scene for you. Let's set the controversy, as they like to say. Ravens are down 27-20, under 3 minutes left in the football game. Lamar Jackson drop backs, fires to Isaiah, likely on a 13-yard strike to the end zone. Likely goes up, secure it, right foot down, left foot down. The referee throws up the hounds, touchdown, baby! Harbaugh is celebrating. Lamar's dabbing up his teammates. And then here comes the buzzkill, the review. The ref walks out. After further review, the pass is incomplete. Then say, Joey Porter Jr. punched it out before likely got the third step, so by rule, no touchdown. That wipes off of what it could have been a 1-point Ravens lead with 2:43 left to go. Early in the quarter. Earlier in that fourth quarter, Teddy Buchanan looks like he picks off Aaron Rodgers at the Steelers' 32-yard line. Huge swing until that's also overturned to a catch for Rodgers. Two monster calls, both go against the Baltimore Ravens. Playoff odds drop from 31% down to nearly zero. Lamar said his frustration is through the roof right now. So guys, buy or sell. Did the refs cost the Baltimore Ravens? Let's hit both sides of it because this one's very, very controversial. So if you are on the buy saying, yeah, the refs screwed the Baltimore Ravens, look, I get it. If you're buying it, this is my cases for you buying it. It's game swinging momentum. That likely reversal isn't some random 2nd and 7 in the second quarter. That's the go-ahead score in the final 3 minutes of a divisional game. In a playoff push. As a matter of fact, in a default playoff game. You overturn that and you're directly impacting who probably wins that game. The catch to me looks like a catch. Likely catches it, controls 2 feet in the end zone, football moving, starting, and no. Most fans see it as a touchdown. Instead, the league leans in the ultra-technical third step language and wipe it all out. What about all those catches when they're toe tapping on the side and catching they fall out of bounds? Those are catches. Those aren't 3 steps. 2 calls, same direction. Buchanan's interception became a catch for Rodgers. That's another high leverage play taken away from the Baltimore Ravens. When both 50-50 reviews go Pittsburgh Steelers' way, it feels like less bad luck and more like the deck is stacked against you. Even the players and coaches are stunned. Harbaugh on the Buchanan play, that's just flat out wrong, he said. Derrick Henry, Ronnie Stanley, Rashad Bateman, all saying they thought likely scored. And when that many vets are shook by the officiating, you know it just wasn't fans overreacting. It's just not us overreacting, but if you're buying it. If you're buying it, guys, saying that the refs did not make bad calls, they changed the outcome of a game that might cost Baltimore a playoff spot. Chat, if you're buying on this, type rest in the chat. But if you're selling it, saying the Ravens have nobody to blame but themselves, this one's tough. But the rule is clear. And the league explained it. The NFL the VP of replay said control, 2 feet, and then the third step or active common to the game. Before likely gets his third step down, Porter jumps it out. But the literal rule book is incomplete. You might hate the rule, but the application was correct. Buchanan never truly possessed on it, right? On the supposed interception, the league says Rodgers had initial control, went to the ground, never lost it. Mutual contact, sure, but the offensive guy had it first and had it longer. That is a catch, not a pick. And truth be told, guys, Baltimore had plenty of chances. They didn't lose 27-26 on a walk-off call. They had 4 quarters of football, stalled drives, missed plays, defensive lapses. Thanksgiving versus the Bengals, Lamar flat out said turnovers cost him. This isn't new. Playoff teams rise above the whistle. You want to be a playoff team, you don't put your session or your season in the ref's hand. You build a lead, you execute all 4 quarters, and make those calls irrelevant. So if you're selling it, you're saying, yeah, the calls hurt, but great teams don't let 2 reviews decide their season. So if you're selling on this, guys, type Ravens in the chat. So Man Hour Nation, where do I land? Guys, I am buying that the refs had a major impact of this game, but I'm selling the idea that the only reason why the Baltimore Ravens lost. The likely overturn, brutal. In that moment, that late, that close to the playoffs, it stings more than a normal call. The Buchanan reversal stacked on top of it, that is a flat-out gun punch. But the Ravens also had 3 hours to be not in that spot. They've blown opportunities for weeks, and when you live on the edge, 1 or 2 borderline calls can knock you off the cliff. So if you're going to put numbers on it, I'm going to go 40% refs, 60% Ravens. The stripes hurt them. Do not get it twisted. The Ravens hurt themselves more. So I am slamming it on the Baltimore Ravens. So chat, lock in. Buy or sell. Did the refs cost the Ravens a game? Drop a buy or sell. And tell me who's the bigger the problem right now, the refs or the Ravens. Neil says, I got to sell on the Ravens. He said it wasn't the refs' fault. It was the Ravens' fault. They had 4 hours of football to figure it out. He said the Ravens cost the Ravens that game. They don't get no passes, so we ain't going to like they wasn't trash for the first 2 months of the season. 100% true, Neil. 100% true, Neil. Mellow Mike says, last night was a defensive clinic. Form tackling and hard hits, all football was meant to be played. Texans Chiefs were doing it all. That the third quarter was amazing, Mellow Mike. You were absolutely right. EC12XX, he says, I hate this head coach Bunny Soft weenie weirdo. Hopefully gets embarrassed and gets fired on Tuesday when we win. Who are you talking about? This head coach Bunny Soft weenie weirdo. Are you talking about Harbaugh? Because if you're talking about Harbaugh, I've been wanting him fired the last 2 seasons, the last 3 seasons. Get him out of town. But EC12XX, let me know. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about the Ravens head coach, or are you talking about old Kansas City's head coach, Andy Reid? Mellow Mike says you win on the scoreboard by scoring more points than the other team. Stop blaming the refs and go win games. I love spam, guys. Sorry about that. I try to block it. This has been football since it was first invented, when Buck was in high school. I'm not that old, brother. I am not that old. But who do you guys going to blame? Are you going to blame the refs? Or are you going to blame the old Baltimore Ravens themselves? But guys, that is going to be it for tonight. Get out there. Watch some football tonight. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. East Coast time. Live, raw, uncut. Until then, guys, we out.
Hey, now it's time to take off. Gotta keep it live and raw. Better stay tuned in. Man, our NFL talk. I know that you ready for more. They on the field, ready for war. Who's in the lead? I'm checking the score. We about to do it like never before. NFL live, uncut, raw. This is Man Hour NFL talk. Let's go.
And yes, Neil, you are correct. The Ravens did start off 1-5, 2-6. They were a very, very bad team. They were a bad team. They turned it on. Lamar was hurt. Remember, he was hurt with those hamstring and quad and ankle. He didn't want to play. But yeah, you're right. See you guys.